Okay, so the primer on the frame is now dry, and I've sanded it out with 400 grit paper to make sure it's nice and smooth and there's no bumps in it. Now we're going to make the piece that we're going to make the mold from, actually. And in order to do that, we have to make sure that whatever we put on here doesn't stick to here, because we got to get it off. So I'm going to use this, this is called Part All paste, and it's like a wax. And you just basically just put this on like you would if you're waxing a car. Put a nice thick coating of it on everywhere that you think you might get anything that might stick. Okay, good. So now we just let that dry for a few minutes, and then we'll polish that or buff it out like you would if you're waxing something to get it nice and smooth. Okay, so now that the wax has been buffed out, dried and buffed out, we're going to put another mold release agent on here, and this stuff is called PVA, or polyvinyl alcohol, and you can get it online or at plastic stores. And usually you spray it on, but this is such a small area, and I just brush it on. And this just forms a film that doesn't like to stick to anything, and nothing likes to stick to it. So now we have kind of two layers of protection here. I'm going way past where I'm intending on putting anything, but I just want to be, you know, want to be sure. And now we just let that dry. Okay, so now that the PVA is dry on there, I'm mixing up some resin, some epoxy resin here. And I've pre-cut my piece of fiberglass that's going to go on there. So now I'm just going to brush a thin film of this on the paintbrush. And try not to use too much or get it anywhere I don't want it to go. I make sure I don't get it where I don't have any mold release, which is just about. Okay. I'll take the cloth. Drape it. Okay. You'll notice I'm not making much of an effort to get this wrapped around the front, the top of the, or the bottom of the frame, and that's because this piece isn't going to extend that far. So I'm just making it as far as it has to be, and that'll make it easier to get off. And I'm going to be trimming this along the whole edge there. Because all I'm looking for here is a piece that I can remove that will retain the shape of the frame. Okay, that's it. With any luck, when that cures, we're going to be able to get it off the frame. I hope it works. Okay, now comes the moment of truth when we see whether we can get this off. While you guys were away, I went ahead and added a second layer of glass because I was concerned about the stiffness a little bit, just holding its shape. So I did that. Let's see if it comes off. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Looking good so far. Looking good so far. Looking like we have a few areas. Look at that. All right. Popped right off. How excellent is that? So there we have now a mold of the side of the frame, and a piece from which I can duplicate other pieces. I'll trim this to be the actual shape of the actual piece that eventually I'm looking for, which will be, you know, probably up from where the radiator hose is, because I don't want to get in the way of that. So it'll be somewhere in here, and then, you know, kind of a shape like this, kind of to match the frame. I might let it go all the way to the weld. And then back here we'll do a similar shape, you know, something like that. Something to just kind of give it a shape, and then I'll trim it all the way to the edge so that it just comes up to the edge of the frame before it rounds off. So there it is. Pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. What's left? I'm running out of time because we're getting up to the race. I've only got a week until the race, and I've really got to get this fixed. So this is going to go on hold for a while, and I'm going to concentrate on just finishing the final patch of this frame, which I may use this piece to help me with, and I may not. I may just start layering the carbon right on here. But I'm going to go have a beer and think about that, so we'll be back at some point, and thanks for watching.